we're joined today by Justin Morales, a singer, songwriter, producer, and rapper. Justin spent his time as a college radio DJ at Santa Clara University and went on to teach English at the university level, originally in California and now in South Korea. But before we get to Justin, I think we got a couple updates we want to share with y'all over the last couple weeks. So, Brooks?
We had a few releases come out in the last few weeks. There's the Difren Says Get Out of My Head Volume 1. That's available on streaming platforms. Thank you. All streaming platforms, Bandcamp, wherever you want to see it, it's probably there. You can go on my website. And also, there was Owl, 1 week left, released from Normal Rockwell. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks. You and I have been working hard on these, a lot of collaboration. Owl, I think, is only available on Bandcamp and YouTube, and there is a reason for it. And I wish I could say it's because I'm like really cool and I'm boycotting Spotify because I'm close to feeling that way. But that's not actually the reason. We had some technical snafus, but really excited to get it out. And I got to say, if I may, one of the better receptions I've had of anything I put out too. So thank you for everybody showing the love out there. If you have not checked it out, I definitely put my name on it. Very, very proud of that. Very, very proud of Get Out of My Head. Both of them full-length kind of stream of conscious albums. Both of them, I think we had sort of an idea, and I'm happy with the way we landed them. But with that said, let's introduce Justin officially.
All right. Thanks for coming, Justin.
Thanks for having me. It's awesome to be here. I'm super excited to hang out with you guys for a couple minutes or longer.
Well, okay, so let's go ahead and call that out. This is the latest that we have probably scheduled one. We are sitting on the West Coast. I am in the Santa Clara, San Jose, California area. Brooks is
I'm in Salem,
right, kind of up there, close to Portland-esque, San Francisco-esque. Okay. Okay. And Justin, you are.
I'm Seoul-esque, but I'm not in Seoul. Yeah, I'm in South Korea. I'm not in Seoul. I'm like an hour away in a little city called Chungju in South Korea.
Very cool. And so obviously saying if it seems like maybe Justin's just waking up or that we're getting punchy by this point at night, that's what's up. But that is the dedication to get you cool people here on Free Game. So Justin, you mind just let's break the ice, man. Can you tell us a little bit about what you've been up to?
Like musically or like life-wise or just all of the above?
Yeah,
or
I didn't think through that question very well, so you vibe with it.
Okay, what I've been up to, just doing my thing here in South Korea. I've got a 10-year-old son and I'm married, and I live kind of like in a smallish town in South Korea. So doing the family thing and working, teaching English at a university out here. And yeah, just enjoying life, living the dream. It's like super chill out here. I've always been, kind of I'm not going to say like a big city guy, but I've enjoyed living in like, big-ish cities. And now I'm just like a country boy out here, and I'm just loving it. And yeah, just working.
Relaxing.
Yeah, big time. Yeah. I'm a Bassmaster Pro. At this point, for about like 2 years, I've been fishing. So I'm just obsessed with fishing.
From basketball to bass.
Yeah, it's natural.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I'm still doing music too. Like I play guitar every night. I'm like crazy about guitar right now, and still making beats, and still definitely obsessed with music. But I've got like a fam out here too, so that's a big part of my life.
Yeah, we're all living that. Yeah. What's a typical day look like for you? What do you find yourself getting into outside of work?
Usually, like it depends on the season. It's just like we've got like real seasons out here. So if it's winter, I'm not going to be doing too much other than just trying to stay warm. But like if it's spring, summer, fall, definitely spending a lot of time fishing. Where I live, we've got like rivers and lakes, and I'm just all about like going out into nature as soon as like work is over. But yeah, I mean, a typical day, I'm a big like routine guy. I like to do the same thing every single day. I love my pattern. So, go to work, do everything the same way every morning, have my coffee, go to work, finish teaching, um, hit up the lake or river, and then pick up my son from his uh, academy. In Korea, we have like this big academy culture where kids just like after school they study math and English or taekwondo. So my son's got that for a couple hours every day. So when he's doing that, I'll be fishing and then pick him up and then just go home and hang out with the fam. Like I said, I live in a small town, so there's not all kinds of crazy stuff for me to get into other than just like, hanging out with the fam and going fishing. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to concerts or anything like that. We don't even have concerts where I live, so
Okay.
it's
Are you
just yeah.
performing? Are you performing locally ever?
I have not. I've not done one show or any DJing or anything in Korea since I moved here. Yeah, unfortunately, I would love to, but it's just I don't know like the people in the scene. Plus, I'm like getting a little bit older. They don't want like some weird old guy DJ. But yeah, I
I'm
mean,
gonna go ahead and say maybe if he's
uh,
sort of weird, it's okay.
yeah.
Just yeah,
But like in San Jose, like I knew so many people, and I
sure.
could, doing my radio show, and people would ask me to DJ or do shows, and it was just like
Yeah.
so much easier than like I realized. So yeah,
Well,
it's
and
there's
Justin,
not
let me cut you off to say something that's
okay.
not scripted because you did, you're not going to be the one to say this, okay? So I'm going to
Okay,
say this to the audience, but in my friend group, Justin Morales was really one of the first people that just kind of was like one step ahead. I think I want to give as much credit as possible to everybody. There was something inside all of us, right? There is something brewing inside all of us. But dude, think of how many people don't just go ahead and do it, right? And again, I
yeah,
just want to say props to you, Justin, because you really were. You were like one of the first people. I remember, man. There are folks in our circle, and I had not met you yet, but we had some people in common, and they're playing it for me, and they're like, this is the Justin Morales tape, and they go, he made every single sound on here. He made every single sound, and I was like, that's dope. And they're like, no, every hi hat you hear, like every single sound, like he made, But look, dude, like maybe that's something that's a simple thought for people, but back then, that was a lot of work, dude. I mean, we've got
yeah,
these samplers with like the one big button, and we're on the 424. And like, honestly, like, man,
yeah,
I started absorbing it. I was like, that's crazy. Like, that's crazy. But I went from kind of going, that's crazy to like, I want that for me. You know what I mean? So again, dude, yeah, I get it. You're not performing, but like, dude, there's people still performing that might have
yeah.
like kicked off because of what you contributed back in the day, dude. So just again, I just want to shout out. Like, I'm very excited to have you on.
Well, I really appreciate that. I mean, that means so much, like to me, coming from you especially. So thank you, Dave. But yeah, I mean, like I'm not like sad about not performing. I did so much stuff, when I was in San Jose. I did as much as I ever thought I could do as far as like doing shows and making stuff and DJing. So it's not like I miss it for sure. But it's I feel like I've had some amazing experiences like performing and DJing and stuff. So, that's
Oh yeah.
I'm so satisfied with what I've been able to do. But I would love it. Like I would like, but there like we don't have like cool venues where I live with like, indie people or it's not a thing. Like you would have to come out to Korea to see the vibe. It's just if I was in Seoul, then yeah, then now we would be talking. But I live in a small town and it's just a bunch of like older people and like little quiet cafes. And if I showed up with my laptop and my guitar, like, it would not be good.
Not a ton of people that are like, oh, that's like shoegaze with
Yeah.
hip hop influence.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe
You never
I'd
know. You
start the
never know.
revolution. I'd start the revolution out here, man. Maybe I just need to do it.
Yeah, maybe start busking on the street.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing I should do. Like I beat myself up over that. I should just take my guitar to a park and just start like playing some stuff. That's doable for sure.
Yeah. So, Justin, how did you first get your interest in making your own music?
I started playing guitar when I was like 12, but I don't think I was interested in making my own music at that time. I just wanted to like learn every like Led Zeppelin and Guns N' Roses and Jimi Hendrix solo. So even though I was doing music, I had no like inclination or like inspiration to make my own music. But it was good for me to like learn an instrument. Um, yeah, it's probably hip hop. It's probably hip hop that made me want to like make my own music. I think just hearing underground and indie hip hop on college radio, which was just like so different and so creative and so special. That really made me want to make my own music, and it like propelled me into buying a 4-track and buying a drum machine and playing some guitar over it, and just having that experience of like trying to make the stuff that I was hearing on college radio. That, yeah, definitely underground hip hop was like the catalyst for sure. The stuff that I was listening to definitely like informed what I was making and influenced it, in such a huge way. So I was going through my phases, for a couple months I'd be just obsessed with this genre and I'd try to throw bits and pieces of it into my music. But yeah, definitely like, the underground hip hop stuff that I was hearing from the Bay Area, from LA, even, and a lot of East Coast stuff too that I really liked. That was like those guys were my inspiration for sure at first.
Yeah. If you didn't like Tribe, what's wrong with you? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, to me, and like I can't reiterate this enough, it's just college radio really just like blew my mind, and just everything, especially in like those first years when I was making hip hop and inspired by hip hop. There in especially in the Bay Area, just so many hip hop shows on so many different stations, and it was just like just crazy and just taught me like everything that I know.
You had a show, like, and
Yeah.
tell us about that show, like how it started, how long it ran, how it transformed a little bit.
What the name was?
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
so
what the name was? I'm sure there's old episodes, right?
The show was called the Mystic Brew radio show, based on an old jazz song that Tribe sampled for Electric Relaxation by Ronnie Foster. So it's called the Mystic Brew, and my first DJ name was Just Die, the Mystic Brew with Just Die. But yeah, so once I started hearing like KFJC and KSCU specifically, I was just like obsessed. And then I found out one of my old high school friends had a show at KSCU. Leanne Early, her DJ name was Cool Kitten, DJ Cool Kitten. And I was like, you gotta help me get a show. And so she gave me an application, and I turned it in, and I got rejected a bunch of times, and I just kept turning one in, quarter after quarter, and finally they gave me a show. They gave me like, it was like
say
Wednesday.
Why they rejected you?
No, I just never heard back from anybody, and I
Okay,
just
all
didn't.
right.
But they finally gave me a show. It was like Wednesday morning, 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. That was my first show.
Yes, prime slot.
This is my time.
But I was so excited. I was like, yeah, like I was so stoked. It was like the greatest day of my life. But I was at De Anza at the time, and I had like a math class like that same day at like 9 a.m. So I would finish my show and sleep for like 2 hours and then go to class and just, but I was so pumped up. Like it was just adrenaline, like I was never tired. So I did that for a quarter, and then they gave me, I think, midnight to 3 after that. So that was so much better. And then I think eventually it was like 9 to midnight for just years and years and years. But yeah, so and I just did it, and I was so excited, and I was playing underground hip hop and jazz and stuff. And then just kind of changed the format, as time went on. So my first quarter was 1997. I think it was like spring 1997 at Santa Clara University. And I did that until 2001. And then I moved to like Southern California for university. So I didn't do the show for a couple of years. And then when I finished school, I came back to San Jose and just did it again up until 2014. So, and that was like, I think I moved back 2004. So a long time. Yeah.
There's a lot of good underground hip hop came out in that time frame. Like that, some stuff I still listen to just about daily because I'm old and don't listen to new things anymore.
Yeah, me too. Well, when I was doing my radio show, I was like just like locked in. I was emailing record labels. I was calling. I would just like call the number on the tape or the rate or the record. It's just like, hey, I'm a DJ. Like, do you want to come to my show? Like to everybody, you know. I was just like insane.
And you
And
got some cool acts on, right?
I had like Radio Inactive and
Mhm.
Scarab and Latyrix and some San
Okay.
Jose guys.
Yeah.
Encore from Stone's Throw, and
Right.
like I was just because I mean these guys were putting out music and they wanted to come on the radio too. So
Oh yeah.
you know, so they they would just be like, yeah, let me come through. And you know, as time like as I got into the groove, like my show, at least on KSU, was like one of the only shows that was like playing underground hip hop. Like there were some
Mhm.
the lot of the hip hop shows got kind of commercially or not straight up commercial, but just, you know, I was just going deep into the underground, playing like the abstract stuff.
Right.
So
Right.
and then at that time as well, the Cactus Club would have like a hip hop show every weekend or every other weekend, and it
Yeah.
would be LA guys or what, you know, wherever they would come from, and you know they would be here, they would be there to do a show on Saturday. My show was on Saturday, and they could hit up my show and then go
Yeah.
to their show, and it was just like this. It felt like really cool, like it felt like a thing, you know?
It was a
It was
thing.
a thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a thing. And I'm gonna say, look, I'm gonna say San Jose has never been the same without Cactus Club, by the way.
Oh
That
yeah.
void has never been, you know. So it's funny. I promise you, literally a week ago, my wife and I were talking about it, and I was like, it just goes to show you how weird like Bay Area culture is and like how expensive it is downtown.
I saw AC Alone there like a couple months before a Book of Human Language dropped.
Mm.
And you know, after that album came out, he exploded and everybody loved him. But when he did that show at Cactus, there were like 15 people there. There was like
That's
nobody there.
wild.
I
That's
know.
wild, dude.
And he
Okay,
did
because
like it was crazy.
man, to this day, I still don't think that album does get the true recognition it deserves. And it's not to say that it's not on like all-time lists of all-time classics, but like here's how grandiose of a take I have for that album. You ready?
Yeah.
If
Okay.
aliens came down, if aliens came down and they're like Charles David Ray, you can play one hip hop album to prove that Earth is worth saving. That's what I'd play. Okay, like that's how
Yeah.
much I love that album, dude. So I don't know
I'm I'm
anything you bring
on
above it.
yeah, no, I do, I agree with you. I'm on team A Book of Human Language is like the best
Yeah,
album ever for me. Yeah.
yeah, dude. We yeah.
But
If
yeah, so but
me
let me just
and
say this about the
good
AC
go
Alone
please.
show.
Yeah,
So I didn't really, you know, I wasn't into All Balls Don't Bounce that much, you know. And
yeah.
so I
It's
think,
got
you know, that
tracks.
album
It's got tracks. Yeah,
the album was really cool, but it wasn't in like my, you know, like my favorite thing ever. So, and I think a lot of people were like that. And
yeah.
so I think that's why there weren't that many people at that show, but there was one guy just like freaking out and just like dancing and jumping around. And he was like, you know, he went to the Church of AC, which I think we all kind of discovered after that. But it was just
Sure.
like, it was, you know, like there were just those shows so often and I just go to every one. And you know, I think he did a bunch of Book of Human Language songs at that show. But like I didn't really understand what I was witnessing at the time, you know?
Sometimes you
Yeah,
don't realize it until later. Do you find yourself starting off songs by knowing which of your projects it's going to belong to? Like whether it's more of the indie rock side of the project or the hip hop side, or does it just manifest and you go from there?
Um, yeah, I think I typically, yeah, if I know I'm working on an album and like I like kind of created some concepts that I wanted or some styles that I want to work on, usually, you know, usually I'll type some notes on like a Word document, like this is what I want to achieve with this album, and I'll try to, you know, like match those vibes or those styles or genres. Yeah, sometimes I'll focus on that kind of goal, but sometimes I would say most of the time I'm just like opening up a project and then just seeing what happens, you know, like a blank project in Ableton or just riffing on guitar and just, you know, seeing what unfolds. So I would say both,
Yeah.
you know.
Sure, sure. And then do you find yourself incorporating the influence of one or the other together frequently?
Yeah, absolutely. like when I really like got into like my Seabright era, I was just like, I felt like so free to do everything that I wanted to do and everything that I knew how to do. So I was like sampling a lot and making kind of hip hoppy boom bap drums a lot, and then recording guitar over it and singing it. Like I was just like, it was just so much fun. I think a lot of it was just because the technology was just it had become so powerful. Like you could do everything that you wanted to do. And I was like, I'm going to sample this old song that I sampled in 1998, but now I'm going to put some guitar on it and I'm just going to make like a whole new weird song with some singing. So like yeah, it's to me it's so fun to just put it all together, you know, put the sampling and the hip hop together with some weird guitar and some, you know, 80s synthesizers. And yeah, like I love to just put it all together and see what happens.
How would you define like being successful with your art? And is that a concept that's like changed over the years?
Yeah, it's definitely changed. Like for like at first it was just finish a song. You know, like, can I finish a song? Can I like if I was
Totally.
doing hip hop, can I write 2 or 3 verses and
Mhm.
make like a song that's like 3 minutes? Like that was success at first, which was
Yep.
really hard, you know? That's hard when you first start doing hip hop. And then I think like by like the late 2000s when I was doing Seabright, my success was just people listening to my music. Could I get people to listen to my music? And it actually happened. I remember like when I released my first album, I put it out on iTunes for like 9.99 and on Bandcamp for like the same price. I think maybe it was like 5.99. I made it a little bit cheaper. And then one night I was just like, okay, my album's free for the whole night. And I posted it on all my social media accounts. And then I checked the stats and like people were downloading it and listening to it. And that was just like insane for me because like that's all I wanted. And after that I was like, okay, all my stuff is free. My stuff is just going to be free because people are actually going to download it and listen to it. And then that kind of like led to like some blog stuff and you know just people actually listening to my music from other parts of the world and people like enjoying my stuff as Seabright. Like that was my success for like for sure. Just having people listen to it, people downloading my music. Sometimes people would pay, but you know, that wasn't important to me at all. Like I just wanted people to hear it.
I love that.
Yeah. So it wasn't really about money for me, like at all. I just wanted people.
It's yeah, it's the love.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And then just like that led into, oh, this magazine did a write up or this blog did a write up. And I was just like, oh my gosh, what's happening? Like it was more than I could have expected. Like I didn't expect anything like that to happen at all, where I'd start getting a little coverage from like some media and blogs and stuff.
That's great.
Yeah.
Justin, is there one piece of art that is maybe the most recognizable release from you? And also, two-part question, is that also your favorite?
Oh gosh. I'm trying to decide between Seabright or my Justin Morales hip hop stuff. I'm gonna guess Justin Morales 3 is probably the one
The
that
most
people know them.
recognizable.
Yeah, the most
Yeah.
recognizable. Um, because the Seabright stuff was it was just a little era from like 2010 to 2014, and I don't know if people are still checking in on that stuff, but you know that when I put out JM3 at the time, like I think a lot of people liked it, and you know it was just kind of a special time for that genre and that like for our area and stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know if like I'm happy about that. The like it's just some of it is kind of like cringe for me to listen to. But some of it's really cool. Some of it I still really like. I think the thing that I really don't like about that era stuff is just the 4 track limited me so much. And I feel
Mm.
like I could, you know, I listened to it and I'm like, I could do so much more than I ended up doing. But, you know, it was just that was just the time, the technology that I
It's
had.
interesting that that's your take, man, because I gotta say, like, you hear a lot of people that go, like, like limitations breed creativity, and it was the
Yeah,
limitations. And there's a lot of kids now that are like, oh, like, it's the vintage equipment and it gives it all the soul. But like, I
yeah,
remember feeling that way at a certain point. And this guy was like, hey, man, like, my dad came up like in like the Motown era, and like he thinks Reason sounds awesome. Like it's clean
yeah,
and it's, we're like, oh, it's too sterile. Like we want the old vintage. And it's like, so again,
Yeah,
man, I think it's all perception. And
yeah, for sure.
and one of the reasons I love that question, man, is because not just on this show, but like anytime I ask it, do you know how unlikely it is? And again, if anyone's listening to this going like, hey, I'm an artist myself, I'm looking for insight, I'm looking for vibes, dude, that's all of us. Like the chances are that like your most recognizable thing is also your favorite thing. There's like slim to
Yeah,
none, right? So at
yeah,
some point, make it for yourself, but once you give it to the world, like it's theirs, dude. You know what
yeah.
I
They
mean?
get
yeah,
they get to choose what they like, right? So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, and
Yeah.
you don't know what kind of impression it's going to make on people and how it's going to stay with them, and how what they how they hear it and what they think about it compared to like me as the person who made it.
Yeah.
It's just going to be so much different. Oh, and let me
I
let me say this
Yep.
too, as I think maybe the Ultraman tape too. The Ultraman album, I think, kind of blew up
oh, it
like
did, yeah.
more than anything else I made, maybe.
Yeah. I mean it was, look, dude, like, the things I'm not gonna say out loud because when you know what's recorded and maybe
Yeah, yeah,
some things about how it all went down, right? Like we keep
yeah,
some of
yeah,
that
yeah,
stuff to ourselves, but hey, like that's the whole point of like putting something out is that like it gets to have its own life. And there's so much creativity and great intention, and really like that was a time where I feel like hip hop was incredibly positive and hopeful. And I'm not
yeah,
one, I don't crap on today's hip hop. I love today's hip hop. Everybody might be thinking I'm talking about this stuff on the radio. Obviously I'm not, but I don't ever like to
yeah,
pretend like that's all there is to it. You know what I mean? I know people are making good stuff, but that time, dude, it really was. It was before, before the millennia turned. It was just, I don't know,
yeah.
man. Like it was cool. Yeah, if folks haven't checked that out, and then it didn't hurt anything that the MP3.com thing was coming up. And remember that Nate Allen had a beat as well. I think he had
Yeah.
one track on that tape, but he was one of the first people I know to have the guts to just be like, yeah, I'm gonna put this stuff on the internet. Which, like, I mean,
Yeah.
let's just own it. I thought that was sucker shit. Like I was like, dude, put your stuff on it. It's like so stupid in
Yeah.
hindsight, you know what I mean? But like, yeah. I was like, rappers don't use the internet. That's not what this is all about.
That's not gangsta.
That's so funny. I think the first time I ever put my stuff online was on MySpace.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Me too. Me too. Well, no, to be fair, Nate put my stuff out on MP3.com.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
and like, okay, sorry, because let's get into the game right after this, but I gotta make this point, man. You ever hear
okay.
something or like hear a name and you're like, you must have come early on. I feel like, how EPMD's DJ's name was DJ Scratch. And it's
Yeah,
like, dude, you must have been early in the game. Like
yeah,
you're
yeah,
DJ
exactly.
Scratch, like that wasn't taken. So it's like, kids, yeah, there was an
Seriously.
MP3.com. Like, yeah, that's just what it was called.
MP3.com.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were the first ones, man, that was
Yeah.
like the name. That was the
It was just
obvious
there
name.
for him. Yeah. It's like, let's not overthink it, right?
For the listeners out there, watchers, where can people go to find your music?
I'm a big Bandcamp guy, so all my stuff is at Bandcamp. So it's like Seabright. Wait, let me check. I'm just gonna check what is the address? Yeah, it's
Sure.
seabright.bandcamp.com. And I've got a lot of stuff up there. So I have all my Seabright stuff, and then I've got some hip hop stuff that I made way super long time ago. So and you can download everything there for free. So you can name your price, put 0 or put however much you want to. It's up to you. But everything's there. And then I would say YouTube is another good option because I've got like mixes over there, and then all my old albums are there. I haven't put my Justin Morales albums on Bandcamp just because, like, to me, I'm just kind of shy about those albums. but I wanted to put them somewhere, so I thought, I'll just put them on YouTube. So it's like the full album stream. So if you just search if you go to YouTube and search Justin Morales Seabright, you can see my channel. But I have some cool mixes and other beats and stuff there. So I like to stay active there for sure, posting stuff. And then kind of the more like this is my album is at the Bandcamp usually.
And what about anything upcoming you want to promote, or anything like recent? I'm gonna go ahead and say, did you remember that there was like a Justin Morales 4 after a long hiatus?
Oh yeah. Okay.
I'm a fan, dude. What do you want me to say? Like, let's get the music out there.
Okay. Yeah, that's at YouTube, and that's just the final stuff that I made back in like 2002 to 2005, and I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna put it out there. There's a couple instrumentals and a couple songs, and that's at YouTube. So when did I put that out? Maybe 2 months ago. But it's just like it's just like a collection of old songs. It's not like anything super serious. So yeah, that's a recent release. Thank you for reminding me.
All right, Brooks, do you want to play your second favorite game?
Oh, that is my second favorite thing to do.
Okay. Uh-oh. Oh God. Oh God.
All right.
I can't tell number one.
It's inappropriate for more than one.
We don't want to get you in trouble.
All right. So second favorite, right? That is the game.
Okay.
That is the game, Justin. That is so, look, like, we didn't give Justin the list ahead of time. It's high stakes. Y'all, it's high stakes.
Yeah.
But we're gonna ask some questions, and you just tell us your second favorite one of these. Please don't tell us your first.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Second favorite indie rock band.
Second favorite indie rock band would be Mojave 3. That's my second.
We didn't think it was your first. Second favorite, Bob James album.
Okay. Bob James 1 is my second favorite.
Presumably your first comes after that one, but we're not going to ask.
Yeah.
Second favorite Korean food.
Okay. Dolsat bibimbap, which is like, I think you guys probably know bibimbap, but dolsat is like the clay pot where like when you cook bibimbap in the clay pot, there's like kind of this crispy at the very bottom. All the rice is a little crispier than regular bibimbap, and that's my number 2 for Korean food.
Very cool. Dead or alive, second favorite movie actress.
Actress? Oh my gosh. Oh wow. I don't even know who my first is. Okay.
Well, that'll help.
Yeah. Oh my.
We don't care about your first.
Yes. Yeah. But I need to like put it together. Okay, so I have to choose my first. Okay. And then number 2, Parker Posey.
That's a great damn answer.
Yeah.
That's a great damn answer.
Yeah.
All right. Second favorite instrument to play.
Synthesizer.
That's a wide range, but we're gonna accept it.
Okay, and I'll give you my favorite synthesizer.
Second favorite synthesizer.
Okay, second favorite. So my second favorite instrument is synthesizer, and then my second favorite synthesizer is Roland Alpha Juno.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is a good one.
Yes, yes, it is. Second favorite, dead or alive, Golden State Warrior before the Steph Curry era.
Okay. Oh wow. Jason Richardson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's a good one, right? That's a good one.
We also would have accepted.
He's my first.
No!
Oh, should I not have said that?
You're the first person to...
Okay.
Okay,
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't know it was illegal.
that's my percent.
Okay. Sorry.
Second favorite sport to play.
Okay. Baseball. Wiffle ball, specifically.
Okay.
Okay. Baseball, I'm guessing, is a close third.
Yeah.
Second favorite Living Legends album as a group
Oh,
or individuals.
okay.
Just from the umbrella.
Okay.
We would
So
even
I'm
accept
thinking,
Aesop the Black Wolf.
okay. The elusive I think it's called 6 Degrees of Separation, where it's like just a bunch of elusive beats and then, they're all rapping on the whole thing. That's my number 2.
That's a deep cut, dude.
Yeah, that's a deep cut. But that one means a lot to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry. That's for someone that was here. Well played.
So I'm going to expand this question from what was originally written, but second favorite Bay Area sports team throughout your life, because there's been some departures. Some teams came back and left again.
Okay. So you just want the name of the team, or like the year of that team, or just the team?
Name of the team's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
You know what?
Second
We can
favorite?
take the bonus though. If you feel like there's a year, but Justin, do keep in mind, if this is your second favorite team, please tell us your second favorite year of that team.
Yeah. Okay. Second favorite team would be probably the Warriors. The Golden State Warriors are my second favorite Bay Area sports team. And my second favorite year from them would be 14-15, the first championship that they won. That's my second favorite year from them.
That's a thing of beauty, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was incredible. That was so special.
It was almost like, wait a minute, they did it. They're not supposed to be able to.
Yeah.
I mean, I think people kind of don't realize like what the Warriors were for a very long time, which by the way was entertaining, but it wasn't winning. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And it happened quick. Yeah. It happened quick.
Yeah, it was like two
when it started, it happened quick.
Yeah, exactly. There were 2 playoff runs that they got eliminated, and then they were just like the best team ever suddenly.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna keep this one really simple. You ready?
Okay.
Second favorite fish.
You mean like to catch, like as like a Bassmaster Pro that I am now?
Dude, when I wrote it, I wrote the word fish.
Okay.
You could say the band for all we care.
No, it is. I spelled it FISH. That would be a different stuff.
Okay. Second favorite to catch would be this fish called a snakehead. That's my second favorite to catch. Second favorite to eat is probably salmon.
Okay.
Yeah, solid.
It's a good second favorite fish to eat.
Yeah. But that's a lot of people's first.
True, but not yours, because you would never ever say it.
No. I don't get down like that.
Second favorite hip hop producer.
Second favorite hip hop producer. Okay. Oh gosh, that's a really hard one. Okay, I know who my first is. Second favorite producer. I'm gonna go with DJ Premier.
Solid. Yeah, and again,
that's my number.
Many a person would have had him as a number 1, so one can only imagine. Yeah, one can only imagine above that. All right. Second favorite, almost said dead or alive, but when you hear what I said, that would have been ridiculous. So second favorite, dead or alive, beach in California.
Okay, second favorite beach in California.
Yeah, the dead or alive thing doesn't really matter, man.
Yeah.
That's just me being stupid.
I'm going to go with a dead one.
Okay, yeah, good call.
Oh gosh. Okay. So I know my first and I know okay, so I'm gonna go to my second one. It's going to be in SoCal, like it's Seal Beach, Huntington Beach, like right
Yeah.
in that in between those two cities. It's a little kind of wildernessy, but it's beautiful. It's incredible.
Yeah. I got a good buddy in Redondo, by the way. So I was just down that way not so long ago. Awesome part of the world.
Yeah, the Pacific Coast Highway just goes, all through those cities, and you can drive on that thing on a Sunday morning, and it's just incredible and changes
We're
your whole
spoiled here, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
Second favorite place you've discovered since moving to Korea?
Okay, second favorite. All right. But yeah, there's a cool city close to where I live called Danyang, and it's my second favorite place to go to. It's probably 30 minutes from my house, and it kind of reminds me of like a beach city, like kind of like a touristy beach city, but instead of a beach, it's just like a river that kind of runs around the city. And so you've got this river culture. There's like this amazing traditional market that has like incredible food. There's an aquarium. You can go like and just spend the whole day there and kind of feel those real. It's almost beachy vibes and vacationy vibes, but from just like a little river city. And we go there like as much as possible. And it's just one of our favorite places. It's called Danyang, and it's really pretty and really cool.
That sounds
Digging
great.
that.
Okay.
Second favorite guitar amp or guitar pedal?
Oh gosh. Okay. Uh, second favorite amp. Uh, let me think about the brands and the companies. Okay, second favorite amp would be like just a Fender combo amp, like a small one with spring reverb. So something like a Princeton, Fender Princeton would be my number two. Um, it's just you can get like all those vintagey sounds from it, and it's small, and it's just like yeah, it's perfect. And then second favorite pedal, that would be okay, let me think about my first. All right. Would just be like some kind of like uh a drive or kind of a booster pedal that would just add a little bit of distortion and drive to the signal, but not a full on like Slayer Metallica like distortion pedal, but something a little more subtle. But I always feel like that adds like just such a nice kind of sparkle to a guitar sound. So that's my number two pedal. And I have one right now. I have it's a Chinese pedal from AliExpress, but it's really good. So the company is Joyo, and the pedal is called King of Kings, and it's awesome. It's a great guitar pedal.
Yeah, so we're going to throw this one back out to the watchers and listeners here. We're getting to the part of the show that everyone tunes in for, but first, we're going to ask you all to give us some ideas in the comments section.
Yeah, so that like I'm with it. Let's for this episode, let's have some people write down your ideas for a second favorite. If you can, in the comments, give us some ideas for what we could ask on a second favorite. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick our second favorite idea, right? And then add it to the next interview. Comment section's been a little late, so y'all get the keyboards out. All right. So Justin, what's some free game that you can share with everybody?
I have two things that like really helped me out throughout the years of being like a musician. One thing would just be to just try to learn as many different aspects of music as you can. And I mean like even beyond making music or making a song, like for me, learning how to make my album cover was like huge because before that, I was so dependent on finding someone who could do that. Like I couldn't put anything out until I found someone who would make it and make it on time. And then I got to a point where I was just like, okay, I want to try to learn how to do this, even if I can just make a really simple one that's not maybe it's not great, it's not genius, but so like learn as much as you can about the different aspects if you're into making music and releasing music. Same thing with like for me singing. Like I didn't want to sing at all. And I was always thinking about, okay, I need a singer and I can't really proceed until, I find someone to sing on these songs. And then I just decided, hey, maybe I can do it. Maybe I can give it a shot. I'm not a great singer, but with, unlimited takes and overdubbing, I made it work. And yeah, so like that was just huge for me, and learning how to like reach out to labels and kind of the business end of making music and releasing stuff. Like it was just so much fun to learn that stuff. So yeah, I would just say like keep learning, and just keep adding to your skill set. Like that was huge for me. Like obviously you want to be a great musician, the best you can be, and finish your songs, but that's just one part of it, and there's a whole other element to being a musician, and it's really fun to learn all the other stuff that's involved with it. That would be one piece of advice. And the other thing is just it's kind of related to that, I guess, but just follow your heart, and just do whatever like makes you happy musically, even if it's not inside your genre, or even if you think it's gonna like be embarrassing. Just yeah, I guess it's kind of related, but just don't be afraid to try different sounds or different styles, or just completely change genres, and just see what happens, because it might result in something like really special or something cool. So those are my two things that like have helped me make stuff and be productive and be happy with everything that I've made.
That's
we named the group Sort of Weird Artist Guild, man. You know what I mean? You're telling people like don't stay in a shell, don't feel confined to a genre. I mean, obviously you're preaching the choir, and
Yeah.
I'd put my name next to that advice too, dude. You said it well. Look, as we round down, I guess maybe just kind of reminding everybody like that's the point of the group, that's the point of the show, bringing you people like Justin Morales, right? Like bringing you like the real artists, people that are dedicated to the craft, right? That are willing to share some thoughts and some perspective. Dude, it's honestly like it's been a pleasure. Not a word said was insincere. Y'all go download, go check it out. Like I don't care if my boy here is like, oh, that's back in the day. That's not like, go see what it was like back then, because it's a shining example of like when music comes from the heart and it's pure. And like I said, I'll put my name next to that. Like the point of the show is to be checking out stuff like this, man.
So
Brooks,
so check out the Justin Morales material on YouTube, and you can find the Seabright material on Bandcamp and YouTube.
Absolutely. Yep.
Great.
Yep. All right.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Dude, again, like you're across the Pacific Ocean. You're waking up on a weekend to do this for us. What y'all don't know is my boy is like fighting off a cold or something too, and powered through it. So the awesome dulcet tones, thanks to the mucus. You know what I mean? Like we're making it work here.
I'm on heavy meds right now, so I don't know what just happened, but hopefully it was okay. No, I feel good.
No, it'll just be recorded forever on the internet, so don't need to worry.